Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Sonal's life. So crazily enough, you guys all loved the first part of my Suzuki Gun history tour. So I thought, well, I'm not just going to leave you hanging too long to find out what happened. So I thought, let's get on with part 2. So if you've not watched the video yet, go back and watch it. Basically, I had a look at the beginnings of Suzuki Gun. So at the start, obviously, it was Kojima Gun. After a series of losses, Taka and Taichi decided no more and took on Suzuki as their leader, and they dominated New Japan. Last time I left you, we just finished Wrestle Kingdom and they'd basically made a claim on Noah saying, we are coming after you. So let's get going with the next part of the Suzuki Gun history. The day after Wrestle Kingdom 9 was a huge event for Suzuki Gun. They basically came down to the ring and said to Marufuji and the Mighty Don't Kneel, who you'll know probably Mikey Nichols is currently in Chaos. And then you've had Shane, his tag team partner, who's been in WWE. They have been all around the world. They were a huge staple in Noah at the time. And basically they had come to Yano's aid during a match, and Suzuki Gun was not having this. So they basically went, well, we are coming to your town and we are going to exert our dominance on Noah just like we did in New Japan. They didn't have to wait long for this to happen. On January the 10th, Suzuki Gun made a surprising appearance at a Noah show after Marufuji successfully defended his GHC heavyweight title against none other than the former Suzuki Gun leader, Satoshi Kojima. It's funny how things come big circle like that. And basically Suzuki hit Marufuji with a Gotch-style pile driver, so as you know, his finisher, and he declared that he wanted that title. Suzuki had basically been on a road of dominance in New Japan, but had yet to pick up a title. It's funny because that is still the case in 2022, but we're not going to talk about that. Over the next few shows, they made their big debuts. They had a lot of singles matches, tag matches, and they basically was running riot. They were dominating everything from Despy in the junior division, Lance Archer in the heavyweight division, Suzuki in the heavyweight division. Like I said in the previous video, they literally had holes in every part. Yet the first major storyline actually came a month later. And so the first big storyline was actually in the February, and that was where Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. actually defeated the Mighty Don't Kneel for the GHC heavyweight tag titles. If you thought that was a reign of dominance, on March the 15th, it was a huge day for Suzuki Gun in Noah. Desperado and Taka Michinoku picked up the GHC junior heavyweight tag titles, and shocker, Minoru Suzuki pinned Marufuji to become the GHC heavyweight champion. Now, if you thought that their initial dominance in New Japan was anything to go by, they firmly took over Noah. They came, they said they were going to dominate, and they did. And it's funny because a lot of the time people have words, they have empty words to say. Suzuki came and they conquered just as they said. Yet that was only the beginning. Bearing in mind, this was only in the first 2 months that they had arrived in Noah. Throughout the next few months, due to the dominance of Suzuki Gun, the other factions all decided that they weren't having it. They were not having someone from another company come over and exert dominance over their home, their pride and joy. And it led to a very odd thing where all of the factions, baby faces and heels alike, joined together to ensure Suzuki Gun's downfall. In the 2015 Global Tag League, KES, so the Killer Elite Squad, and Iizuka and Suzuki basically dominated the tournament, and KES successfully defended their title. And I hate to say it because October is my special month because it's my birthday, that was when things started to change. It all started with Despy and Taka losing the junior titles. The month of October was mixed. So Suzuki Gun got a new member in Segura, if I can say that right, who defeated Marufuji for the GHC title. If you wonder what's happened, somewhere in the middle of all this chaos and excitement, Marufuji beat Suzuki back for the title. Yet that was the really only positive thing to come out that month. None of them won the big tournament in Noah at that time, so there was 4 of the guys in it. Despy and Taka lost their junior title, and it seemed like that huge momentum was slowly coming crashing down, which was inevitable, I guess, considering you can't have a faction with that much dominance because somebody is going to be out there to try and get you. Yet, despite everything that happened, a big turning point was pretty much exactly a year after Suzuki Gun made their first debut. in Noah. And for me, it's a huge moment because it signified another turning point in Suzuki Gun's history. On January the 31st in 2016, Suzuki Gun got a new member, someone who you will all know and love, and that is none other than Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Before this, Kanemaru had been wrestling for years. We say he's a veteran now. Even back in 2016, he was a junior heavyweight wrestling legend, picking up titles, singles, tags. So this was like a massive thing for Suzuki Gun. It was even bigger considering how loyal Kanemaru has been to Noah. He was seen as the traitor of Noah. And I guess I've said this when he started with it. What better way to join a faction than to betray your home to go to another home that was built on betrayal, if that makes sense. It was another perfect fit to the Suzuki Gun locker room, another guy who built his career on sneaky style and who is more of a mat-based wrestler, as I've said previously. For the next few months, it was up and down again. We had Kanemaru win the title, and obviously, most importantly, if you didn't know, Kanemaru did not only win the GHC Junior Heavyweight title, but you'll never guess who he won it off. His long-term rival, Taiji Ishimori, who at the time, again, was a firm staple in the Noah locker room. Now, if anyone has been watching New Japan the last few years, you'll know the relationship between them. Taiji Ishimori always jokes that he has an allergic reaction to Kanemaru. He never seems to be able to beat him when it matters. Tag matches, sometimes he can do it. Multi-man matches, fine. However, when it comes to things like the best of Super Junior, Kanemaru always had Taiji Ishimori's number. And especially back then, Ishimori wasn't your Bullet Club Bone soldier. He was a guy who was just trying to make his way in Japanese wrestling. He was very experienced at the time, but maybe not on the same caliber as he is now in New Japan. So the ironic thing is, everything always comes full circle. So Suzuki came to Noah to cement his state. So Suzuki came to Noah and decided he wanted the GHC heavyweight title after Marufuji defended it against Kojima, who Suzuki had taken the faction off in the first place. Stay with me, it makes sense. Kanemaru defeated Taiji Ishimori for the title, someone who in the future would be a very, very big rival, not as a babyface and heel, but as heel and heel. I just like links like this. I think it's iconic, the idea that somewhere right in the past, pretty much every wrestler in New Japan has met, but in completely different terms. And I think, yeah, that was the perfect way to sort of cement the dominance that was going through. They were beating some of the biggest names in Noah, but as Suzuki Gun, as still an entity of New Japan, showcasing the dominance of New Japan at the time. Killer Elite Squad kept winning their titles. However, the end of the sort of reign of Suzuki Gun in Noah was not through really any choice of their own, because I guess if it was up to Suzuki and to Suzuki Gun, they would have stayed in Noah a lot longer. According to reports at the time, the main reason that Suzuki Gun had gone to Noah in the first place is because Noah was struggling. It was struggling with their shows, with their attendance, and that obviously led to money. So at the time, there was some sort of bond between Noah and New Japan. We saw it, for example, when Marufuji challenged Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title at King of Pro Wrestling. And they'd been sharing talent in tournaments many, many years. And for New Japan, it sort of felt like their gift to Noah, saying, here is one of our newest and most dominant factions. You take them and you help them. You take them and you get help from them. You get help from legends like Minoru Suzuki, wrestling legacies from Davey Boy Smith Jr. and the rising stars like Desperado. However, it didn't actually see much of a difference in terms of rising numbers. Yes, there was a lot more eyes on it. However, business didn't pick up maybe as much as Noah wanted it. However, they never really got to see the full extent to what New Japan could do, because now in the wrestling business, you know, it is not always the most pleasant place to be. And on the 5th of December, Suzuki Gun actually left Noah. It was their final appearance. Nobody really knew what had happened at the time, but apparently reports came after saying that the relationship between Noah and New Japan had turned very sour in the previous months, And obviously, if that was going to be the case, they were not going to let one of their hottest entities stay in a company when they weren't getting the relationship they wanted. So obviously Suzuki Gun left to go back to New Japan. However, if they thought that really there was no impact of Suzuki Gun coming to Noah in the terms of the business, once Suzuki Gun left, it seemed as if Noah was impacted even more. The numbers and the attendance rates went down, if that was even possible. And I think that this is one of the issues with wrestling, is you're always going to have positive and negative, and this sour relationship between Noah and New Japan lasted for many years. But obviously, it's quite ironic that I've said this and we're doing this now, because obviously this month we had, for Wrestle Kingdom in Yokohama Stadium, we had the Noah versus New Japan show. This is sort of making me think that maybe the relationship that was once sour, very sour by the way, might turn a lot more positive and is going in the right step forward. I've also seen this on social media. For years, New Japan was focused on their foreign talent, and we've had struggles with COVID, travel restrictions. However, with New Japan and Noah coming together, similarly I think with like Noah and DDT and Tokyo Joshi, they are focusing on just lifting up Japanese wrestling as a whole. And I think considering the whole messy ending to the relationship back in 2016, it is the perfect way to sort of start 2022 and move forward for pro wrestling. So, again, I have finished on Suzuki Gun leaving Noah and going back to New Japan, and that is where we will start next video. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. This video took a lot more research than the other ones because, yes, I've started to watch Noah, but that does not necessarily mean I know the history of it. So I love going through things like Wikipedia, Cage Match, and the Japanese wrestling profile pages to see everything that was happening. And it just seems like everything that happened back in Noah, it happened for a reason. If they didn't go to Noah, we wouldn't have had Kanemaru. We wouldn't have seen iconic matches such as Marufuji versus Suzuki. And who knows, we might not have seen the 2022 January the 8th Wrestle Kingdom. Though maybe the connections I'm making are a bit too far. But you know I like that sort of thing. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this part of the video. I also wanted to add something that somebody added to my comments before. The relationship between Suzuki and Kojima prior to Suzuki actually taking over Kojima Gun all linked to All Japan Pro Wrestling. And yeah, there is a huge history there. Have a look on the comment on my other video, but I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was a great point that I did actually miss out. So, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought. What do you think of this New Japan-Noah relationship and sort of the progress of it? So from positive to sour and now back to positive again. What Noah and New Japan matches would you like to see now if, for example, the collaboration between the two promotions continues? Let me know in the comments. Let me know on social media at wrestling_chat. As always, if you like the video, please press like, leave a comment, share, and hit that subscribe button because I will be back very soon. These videos have been a great way for me to sort of flex my historical skills, so I will be back, and I think it's going to be more than just a trilogy, so stay with me for this. I will see you guys next time. Bye!